So, what is going on, guys? We're going to be taking a look at Transformers Kingdom Voyager class Dinobot. And Dinobot is one of my favorite figures I've bought in the last bit. This Dinobot is absolutely phenomenal. I love it. It is an amazing figure. And he does have accessories. They're on his back. We'll get to them. As far as this main figure goes, man, this thing looks like Dinobot. It looks so good. It's like a little mini masterpiece. It's insanely good. There's no other way to put it. Just get a look at the head here first. Look at that head sculpt alone. That head sculpt is flawless. Like, that is literally the same as the masterpiece. It is flawless. It is insanity how good that head sculpt is. Other than that, I mean, he's primarily composed of the brown, like, plastic, and then a bit of, like, the copper color. There's some blue here and there on him, like on the chest there, but that's really about it. And all of the brown plastic is indeed textured, and it is really nice. It is really awesome. He comes with two accessories, which are on his back. They're his tail. So if you open up his tail here, you, for one, get his famous drill sword, which is pink for some reason. The Masterpieces was also pink for some reason, so I don't know if that's just something they're going with, or I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of fine with it. It's cool enough, I guess. And the way he holds is it pegs into his hand, because his hands are very clearly the dino feet. There's a peg hole in his hands, and he holds it like that. And it still looks good, but it kind of looks tiny in his hand, which is kind of weird. And his other one is his other signature, his spinning shield, which does not spin. Womp womp. But it's still his spinning shield that he comes with, and you can definitely pose this guy quite well with his weapons. I do quite like it. If you did want to get the spin, his wrist does rotate fully, so you can attempt to do something like that, but you'd have to do a really weird stop motion of it. But I'm sure a lot of people can do it. Like oh man, Lazy Eyebrow. He is a guy that I always love watching his videos just for like the stop motion he does. Check him out. If you have the time, if you haven't already. I'm sure many people probably have, but yeah, he's really good. I mean, this guy's just great looking. There's nothing really much else I can say about it, is how amazing this figure just looks. It looks like Dinobot. His articulation's also just about as great. Ball joint in the head, and it is quite a nice expressive ball joint. Forward and back at the shoulder, outward, like that as well. An elbow, a swivel, as I mentioned, hand also rotates and can move in and out. So that's awesome. Not to mention if you don't have anything in there, of course the fingers can move. It looks good. I'm just going to take the weapons off him for a quick second here. Ooh, there he goes. One slight issue he has is stability. He does have small little feet, or small heels, that is. He does have a waist. Forward and not back, though. The back's a bit blocked by that. He does have rotation, but mine is extremely tight, and I don't dare try to rotate it. He does indeed have a knee joint, as we displayed earlier. And he has forward and back tilt and a side tilt at the ankle, which goes like that as well. He's articulate. He is a very articulate figure. He is insanely articulate. No other way to put it. And he has a pretty clean back as well. Like, he does have the bit of tail back here, but I mean, that's fine. I also like it so you can, you know, actually store the tail. Look at that. Oh, his tail's on the back. That's fine. Yeah, it's also storage for his weapon. That's enough about the robot mode. Let's just get into the transformation. So to start the transformation for this figure, first thing I always like to do, raise up his arms and then come into the sides here. And then in the sides, there is little itty-bitty dino arms. You pull them out, and that's going to completely undo the chest. Believe it or not, those are the things that keep the chest as good as they, like, actually, like, pegged together. Next thing you're going to do is come to the shoulders and rotate them around like that. You're then going to be able to come into the chest, and you're going to do that. So take the chest piece, fold it up, and then fold the shoulder down, and then take the bit of the chest and fold it inward, like so. And now the thing's starting to look a bit skinnier, and you're also getting to see how the engineering is actually really crazy on this guy. Come to his hands, kind of start positioning them a bit to look like legs, because that's what they are. They are the dino legs. Next thing I like to do, come to the back, and you can undo the whole tail section here. And once you've done that, that pretty much unlocks everything in its entirety. Flip up his dino head, and then rotate his legs around, like so. And the tail is going to come up, and it's going to flip over his head. Once you flip the head up a bit, though, you got to flip up like that, and then the tail will come in and flip over it, like so. And you're just going to leave the back kind of like that until you get the legs all situated. So on the legs, come to the side of the legs, and on his like calves, you'll find these little panels, which actually have detailing on the inside of them, which is kind of cool. At least they put that much thought into it. Take his feet, fold in the heels, and fold that back down. Now you get to the funnest part of the transformation, aka the worst part of the transformation. Getting the feet to go where they need to go. The feet are scary on this guy because they do not seem to like to go where they're supposed to go. And there's lots of peg holes on this guy that you need to get into specific places. So there's some slots right there that you're seeing. Those slots are for these pegs. There's also slots on the knees that go into these pegs. So there's that. I recommend you do it one at a time. I keep hitting the camera. That's my bad. Kind of tilted it a bit, I think. There we go. So you just want to make sure those get into place, and then take the knee. Then you got to take the foot, and the foot has a slot on, the tail has a slot right here. The foot has a tiny little peg right there. And that peg is going to go into said slot. But to get it into said slot, you have to make sure that the leg is completely lined up and correct with the rest of the figure's bits that need to peg in. So as you can see, I can't get the knee to go right now. For some reason, the knee does not want to go. But if you can get that foot into place, you can kind of get this to start working better. There we go. I just have to push on it a bit, and the knee goes. You can then flip down his legs, like so, and then fix up his dino arms as well. And there is Dinobot's Velociraptor form, which just looks great. It looks pretty great. Now, there is issues. And they're your typical Beast Mode issues. Even the Masterpiece Beast Wars figures have the issues. It's just how it is. It's just how it's gonna be. Yes, the entire bit of the legs are just underneath, and they're blatantly right there when you turn them around and everything. They're just there. There's nothing you can do about it. In the front, it really does affect it because the arms can't sit flush, so they're kind of always on this weird derpy angle. Other than that, the figure does look great. The texturing is amazing on the dino form. The bits of gray paint that you can see throughout it, like right here and like up on the head a bit and all that. And then he has his eyes are well painted. Mine actually are looking relatively in the same direction. Close enough. Better than like cross-eyed. And you can open the mouth, but how I usually go about it is doing that. If you open the mouth, they actually painted his tongue and his teeth, which you can already see the teeth. But yeah, they actually painted the tongue, which is really cool. And the articulation of the dino mode isn't the craziest. His head cannot even rotate, sadly. I wish it could. They actually probably could have, but they just didn't. Forward and back, an elbow, ball joint at the wrist. His legs are a bit hindered. They can go out, but they can't go forward and back. They can kind of go forward and back at the knee. And then, of course, there's the rock that they've already had. So, I mean, Dinobot is just pretty solid. Another small thing you might notice is the pink tail tip. That's a bit odd, but, you know, it's fine. So let's just get to my thoughts on this Dinobot. My thoughts on him. This figure is one of the best Kingdom figures and is easily one of the best Prime Wars, or I just said Prime Wars. One of the best War for Cybertron figures from that whole line of stuff. Ooh, I didn't like that crack it made. But that's fine, it was nothing. I mean, as far as figures go, this guy is a pinnacle figure from the War for Cybertron line. He is the pinnacle, and if you didn't get him, kind of sucks, because he was really good. And I mean, you could probably maybe still get him, but I only seen this guy a handful of times, and then when I bought him, he was on sale because he actually wasn't on sale. The Walmart just screwed the prices up. I think I mentioned this before. I went to my Walmart when this guy came out, and they screwed the prices up on the Voyagers in the Wave, which was Inferno and Dinobot, so I ended up getting a Dinobot for the price of a Deluxe instead of a Voyager. Which, of course, I took, gladly, because I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to correct them on their mistake, why would I? But I mean, this figure's just great. The articulation, the robot mode's great. The dinosaur mode looks great. The transformation is awesome. It is interesting. The legs are a tad bit annoying, but it's not enough for me to deduct points, because they're not even, like, annoying. It's just depending on how your figure is, really. And I mean, I'm going to give this figure a 5 out of 5. And I'm like, why are you going to give it a 5 out of 5? Because it's just, I can't find many things wrong with this figure. He has good articulation. He looks good in his robot mode. He looks good in his dino mode. His transformation's fun and different. And he just works as a figure better than a lot of the other ones. And I mean, he's just one of the best examples of a Transformers toy in a main line in the last few years, really. Like I said, this guy's phenomenal. He's a 5 out of 5. This has been Eilt Elite, signing out.